Psycho Squad Gaming Club role-playing episode. This features mature adults using mature language. If that bothers you, stop listening now. Enjoy our game and remember, alter reality on a regular basis.
Welcome back, gamers. Bringing you back to Psycho Squad Gaming Club. It's our first game of 2022. We're going to be playing Chapter 2 of our RIFTS Burbs group. We appreciate you guys coming back in and checking us out. We have everyone on, but before we start, I'd like to just go through a little bit of background of each of our characters, just to let people know what our characters are, who they are, what they do, all that good stuff, and just the general background of what this is. I think in the first episode we talked about that the current date was around PA 107. Is that about right? I think so. I'll get my notes up and running here. But it's shortly about 6 months after the fall of Tolkien, playing in the Burbs. So all our characters are based again out of the Burbs. Dion, which is my character, he is a human. He was born in the Old Town Burbs of Prosekville. And his father was a coalition military scientist. He's still alive, and he's actually a member of the CS military, and actually lives in Chi-Town proper. His mother is a coalition states recruit admissions clerk. She's also lives in Chi-Town proper, so they are actually citizens of Chi-Town. And Dion also has a older sister who is a military specialist. Dion was kind of your typical slow kid. His IQ is not. I didn't roll very well for his IQ, so I just got to role play that stuff. He was slow, too slow to really be a citizen. So his parents kind of offloaded him into the Burbs with his uncle on his dad's side, and his uncle raised him because of his parents were, these highfalutin people within the coalition military and stuff, and so he didn't fit the, I guess you could, what's the word I'm looking for here? He didn't fit the role model that the coalition citizenship would look for, especially with his dad being a military scientist. Maybe it was embarrassing for him, whatever the reason is. His uncle is where is he? Just lost it. So his uncle is an underground cyberdoc in the Burbs, and he has his own shop in Prosekville, and he helped raise Dion, and he saw how Dion was kind of slow, and he was getting worse. So when Dion was at the age of adulthood and was starting to develop these learning disabilities and problems, the uncle decided that what would help Dion out is mom conversions. So he had access to mom conversions, implanted them in Dion. Now Dion is 100% a crazy. Right out of the book, he became, super strength, super endurance, everything that goes along with a crazy. His intelligence is still pretty low. He's a pretty slow guy. Never learned to read. Never learned to count. But at some point after his mom conversion, he met like his new bestest buddy, Ratchet. And ever since then, he's just been hanging out with Ratchet, because Ratchet is one of those smart guys, He takes care of Dion. Dion takes care of him, and that's how they get along. For the background roles, I guess maybe I should have mentioned this before, but so on his background roles, I rolled that my uncle hid me in the closet to hide me from the coalition states, so I developed a fear of the dark. I ended up uncovering a secret cache of pre-RIFTS artifacts that gave me a bunch of money on character creation, hence the reason why I have a bunch of expensive guns in the beginning. And the last role is that I had an encounter with a mind melter that screwed with my head a little bit, so that adjusted my IQ and my ME down, which I really didn't need at the time, but that got affected, and then he got the mom implants. Dion has some contact with his sister. He does not talk to his parents like at all. He feels kind of betrayed by his parents that they just kicked him off to his uncle, but he does his best to survive. I did roll that he has the crazy hero type for the random power that sends him into a frenzy kind of thing. He goes into the crazy hero type when he's intensely angered or at the frenzy portion. So, and his phobias that he's developed so far based off of the character template at 3rd level is that the background I've got that he's afraid of the dark. Then now he has a phobia of high places, acrophobia. So don't Dion's not getting in power armor and going flying anytime soon. And then the other thing is that he is frightened by loud noises. If there's big loud noises around him, it affects his initiative and his attack. I think that's just about it for Dion. I will move it on down the list here. Let's just go next up to my buddy Nick. Nick, do you want to just kind of talk about Ratchet for a little bit there? Floor's yours, buddy.
Awesome. Ratchet. That is actually a nickname given to him due to the ratchets he carries on his tool belt. His real name is Ramus Reese. He is Native American. He is a tall guy. He grew up in the outskirts of Chi-Town. He was always looking for adventure. He found it in the form of technology. One day he was witnessing a patrol of coalition. He was going through the town, passing with their guns and power armors, and it just intrigued him. He wanted to know how they worked, what they did, how they processed. He also witnessed in the coalition how rough they were and how they treated their soldiers. And he kind of got mad. In fact, he has an anti-government flaw where he hates the coalition. Since seeing the patrol every bit of tech I have tried to get my hand on, I would take it to my room. I would try to study it. His parents were constantly working and helping the community, so Ramus had a lot of time on his hands to roam about, looking for salvage, checking nearby ruins, wreckages from wars or patrols. He stumbled upon the scene where a battle had been taking place. A bunch of soldiers were nearby. Were slaughtered what it looked to be a mercenary group of DBs, in which case I do have a hatred for DBs as well. Because of this, they noticed him, chased him out. In fact, I was almost beat senselessly by DBs, and I was saved by a man named Zarvak. All right. Zarvak is a human leyline walker. He was on his way to a rendezvous point when he found me. He took Ramus to his nearby safe house and took care of him. So I got better. I was intrigued by what he could do with magic and psionics. Asking questions about magic, Zarvak told him what he knew and answered all his questions. When Ramus got better, Zarvak took him back to the town where his parents were at. There they made an exchange for Ramus to be schooled and taught. Having hardly any money, Ramus' parents just wanted what was best for him. Ramus and Zarvak headed to a place where Ramus could learn everything he could at a school of magic and knowledge away from Chi-Town. Okay, secret location. Zarvik also noticed that Ramos had a gift for psionics. He taught him how to channel in force, helped him with his PPE, ISP, and with Ramos having an interest in technology, he became a technomancer. The community also gave Ratchet that nickname because he was so good with tools. He learned to be able to repair almost every tech in the next few years. Ramos also never forgave the DBs who had tried to kill him. And that's where my hatred comes in that I rolled up. On my 20th birthday, Zarvak told Ramos that he could no longer teach me anything, and that I should continue to grow in the open world, find new things to create and discover, work with new technomancer stuff. He also gave me my first vehicle, a Skywing, just because of my achievements in school. Graduating with the knowledge he needed to broaden his gifts. His parents had moved to Little Chi-Town, where Ramos now resides, and finds working repair tech and other mechanical items for paying customers. And that is Ratchet's Wrenches, which is my store that I currently own right now. Secretly, although I do try to find new ways to bring forth magic, even though it is forbidden by the Coalition. And being here, I also met Dion, who saved me from boredom, being alone. He is now my best friend. He's also my muscle. He is my buddy. So.
All right. All cool there, dude? Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Let's go next in the character list is we're going to go over to Thomas. Thomas, why don't you explain to us Lou's background real quick, please?
Okay, so Lou is a young kid who was obviously undercover for the Vanguard, but no one in the group really knows that. But it's fine, because we get the money anyway. So, so my dad was a CS Special Forces officer who died recently, and my uncle's a shifter that fought in Tolkien, who is in Vanguard, but he is currently missing in action. We don't know if he's dead or if he got captured or anything. And then my mother was a Coalition Psi Stalker, which is what gave me my kind of psionic abilities, since I'm a minor psionic. And then my uncle trained me to be in the Vanguard, and now here I am. So, and I'm pretty much a Coalition sympathizer and sees all DBs as being to be exploited. I'm a blabbermouth, so I talk a lot, and Harley, one of the group members, is my bodyguard, and then I just recently met Ratchet and Dion. So, and he's really smart. He has an IQ of 22, and yeah, and he has this motorcycle called the Rift Rider, and he loves going out to the ley lines by the border of Illinois, because every time he needs to level up, he needs to go over there in order to get more spells. And yeah, I was born in Little Chi-Town, and mother is alive still. And yeah, and he's pretty short. He's 5'3". He's 19 years old. Has a weight of 108 pounds, so he's a pretty skinny guy. And yeah.
All right, cool, man. Appreciate it, dude. Let's we'll move on to Catman, Monte. If you're ready, you can give us all a little history lesson about old Harley there.
Harley is a human female mercenary. She was originally born in Little Chi-Town. Her father was, from what I remember, he was a soldier for the CS itself. Turns out that when her father was much younger, he met a woman that he fell in love with, which in turn became, as it turns out, one of the individuals on a CS wanted list because she was a practitioner of magic. Harley's birth was kept secret in this regard, and Harley herself has suspicions that because of the curious disappearance of her mom and one of the few children, she is the last of 5, that some say that the official report claims they died in an attack on the village, and this was responsible by an alien race of creatures called broodkill, which are minor demons. It's one of the reasons she has an extreme hatred of them, was that she lost several family members from it. But there was enough evidence when she began to do some digging that she suspects her mother and one of her brothers vanished courtesy of the Coalition. She has learned from her father how to be a fighter, but she, like her father, she also questions and challenges authority on a regular basis. She knows enough to be respectful of the CS because they are far more powerful than she is, but she's wary of them because her father actually journeyed out beyond the main cities and fought in the wilderness with other warriors. He gave her an understanding that not all non-human creatures are just something you need to shoot at, which is what the Coalition would prefer them to be. Give them the benefit of the doubt, but still be a little wary. And she doesn't look down on them. She lets their actions speak for themselves. If they prove to be allies, she has nothing against them, which is a point of reference the Coalition also does not like, thus she keeps that to herself. Her father's tales of the adventures that happened in the wilderness and so forth gave her a sense of intrigue, and because of this, and because of her mother's influence before she vanished, she also seeks knowledge. Her mother taught her that it is not wrong to want to know, despite what the Coalition itself would state is the regular line of thought. She has a few problems because she was growing up between her mother and her father's teachings. In addition to being, quote, questioning and challenging authority, she also speaks her mind, and it's very hard for her to hold a secret. She's a little bloodthirsty just because she suffered such great losses to family. She only has one sister left. She still wonders to this day what happened to her mother and her brother. And her father tried to tame that bloodthirstiness so she wouldn't go out and try to seek revenge and end up in an alley somewhere dead. So she has a streak of trying to be a peacekeeper. It's a war inside of her. She has learned that what few friends she has that have proven themselves, like with family, they are worth more than money. So she hates it whenever there is fighting or unrest between colleagues that she cares about. One of the things that she is extremely grateful for, before her father vanished, she has suspicions both of Coalition and of broodkill. She doesn't know which. But her father put her in contact with an individual known as Haster. He's an old-style full conversion board from the CS. He's head of his own mercenary group known as Alpha Status. This became her uncle. Him and his group basically helped to raise her when her father went missing, and so she's known them for a number of years. As far as she's concerned, they are family as well. She still maintains contact with them. He has his own office, and his group occasionally is hired out. But most people would be afraid of Burbs. She looks on them more with a sense of wonder and delight, just because of her affection of this particular type. Because of all the problems that she has had throughout the years with broodkill, she has an extraordinary hatred of them, and that is the only species, as far as she's concerned. She will shoot first, blow it up, and then question the remains a day or two later. She doesn't care. She enjoys combat. She enjoys a sense of honor, and she keeps her desire to know secret. She's been trying to teach herself to read. It has been unsuccessful at this point in time. That is why she is clinging tightly to her sister, because her sister Her sister is one of the last few pieces of family she has left. She is extremely protective of her, and just recently she has had a run-in with a drug lord that apparently tried to corrupt her little sister and get her hooked. When she discovered this, she went, found him, and put him in the ground. This has given her additional hatred of drugs and the way it destroys the human body, because in her eyes, if she had stayed with him, she would have lost her. So she now has an extreme hatred of drugs and those that don't care to push them to anyone for the sake of pure profit. As far as she's concerned, she ranks drug dealers in the same category with demons. Put them in the ground, you can question their remains later. She utterly does not care and has no mercy for them. This is when her bloodthirstiness will come out with regards to these two types of individuals. She utterly has no mercy for them or remorse when killing them.
All right, cool. Excellent, guys. Everyone, I appreciate you guys just going through that real quick. Just add some more flavor. So let's go ahead and get going where we stopped off last time. The current date, as far as the coalition calendar, is going to be December 17th, PA 109. So if I said 107 earlier, I apologize. It is 109, roughly about 6-ish months after the fall of Tolkien. Last time we did this battle with a bunch of broodkill. We got some stuff offline on our Discord channel. We divided up some money, and I got stuff of what each of your characters wanted to do. Got some additional information going. So Lou, you pretty much just spent the whole day from the 16th when we got back all the way to, the middle of the day is where we're going to pick up on the 17th. You had some rest, but mostly your time was all spent with working on that bike with Lou, trying to safely pull out that nuclear power plant so you could use it. And you guys ended up being able to do that. Unfortunately, it cost you a little bit of extra time because Lou flubbed his mechanical roll and added time to that. So, sorry about that, buddy.
Wait, my character?
Did I say Lou or Ratchet?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
shit.
said Lou.
Of course I did. I meant Ratchet this whole damn time. Gosh darn, man. Do drugs, kids, because if you do drugs, you end up like me, old and confused. Okay, don't do drugs.
Decrepit bastard, you.
Yeah, damn it. Old gamer, I can't just... So, all right, so all that was for Ratchet. So Ratchet, you spent all that time doing that. So Lou and Ratchet spent time working on that bike. Or not bike, actually it was a hover cycle. We were pulling the power plant out of one of the hover cycles, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Harley, you had posted up that you were. Let me go back. Sorry.
Harley had learned the fact that there was a woman dressed in red that had been moving around Chi-Town and been questioning about her.
Right.
She finally heard word, began to get curious as to who this woman was. Some little piece of her is beginning to worry that maybe it's a shadow of the past that's coming back.
Right. And then you were all you were doing was just spending time at the shop, and then in the morning, the next day, you were going to go check in on your sister.
Yet, just because she's starting to feel a little bit antsy, and then she's worried. A little, how should we say, she's paranoid.
Yeah, that's cool. And then Thomas, your character, we had put up on there that I gave you some information in Discord chat, just to you, about information for Lou. Hopefully you read all that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So for the past day, you really didn't put down for the past day what exactly you were going to be, what you were going to be doing to pass your time.
Yeah, I went out to the ley lines and just meditated. That's all.
Okay, cool. Because that discussion with you and Maxim didn't last very long, obviously. So.
Nah, he went out to the ley lines and just messed around out there.
Okay, so where are you currently at when it comes to midday of the next day then? Just so I know where you're at currently.
He'd be on his way back.
Okay, so currently on his way back. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so please refer back to the information that was on your that Maxim gave him to you. I'm trying to have some sort of semblance of secrecy, although, you know, gamer-wise, we all know that you're a CS operative, but character-wise, none of us have a damn clue. So, but that just means that you and other characters are going to get information that is not privy to other characters. So I'm trying to just separate that a little bit, just so you have your standing orders. But again, just keep on referring to that stuff that Maxim told you. So what we'll do is we're going to start off with mid-morning, close to the mid-noonish area time frame of the 17th, where Harley goes to check in on her sister. Harley, you get over to your sister's house. You don't notice anything amiss up in front. I take it you're probably just dressed in street garb today. Not expecting.
She's wearing some street clothes and so forth. She has her duster on because she wants to make sure she has some protection. That's becoming a personal expression of style with her. And
Okay, so just the light armor, and you're not carrying weapons like you're going out hunting broodkill today. I take it.
no, basically the only two weapons she would actually have with her at the time would be her personal favorite, the mule, and she keeps handy the L-20 pulse rifle. It's small enough that she can use it without problem. She just has a personal love of the mule because of its knockback power.
Gotcha. All right, so you have this stuff. You go up to the door. I assume that you probably have your own key. I'm going to go off the assumption that you have your own key to your sister's house. I'm sure it's safe to assume that she would entrust you with your own key. So you gain entrance into her place. The house looks like she's done some cleaning up. There is a slight aroma of fresh tea, and then of course the incense and stuff, because your sister is a slight practitioner of magic. So I believe she is is she the mystic, or is it your other sister that's a mystic? I can't remember which one it was.
I believe the younger sister is the non-practitioner. The other is the mystic. She was the only other person that she could trust in order to take care between the two of them of the little sister, because they are struggling. That's why she's happy when she makes money. She knows she can ensure they'll have food.
Right. So you gain entrance. You get inside. You don't see either of your sisters there. And then what I'd like for you to do immediately, let's just get right into it, is I'd like you to roll me a d20, please. And it is against psionics, so you do get a +1. I see that you have currently a +1 on your character sheet. So roll me a d20 and add 1 to that, please.
Whopping 16.
Okay. So what's that's going to do? That as soon as you come in, you walk into the middle. You are assaulted with this sickly, nauseating type feeling that just stuns you for a couple of seconds. You're not completely knocked out. It's just this wave of just psychic energy that boils over you and assaults you, and you fall to it's enough that you fall to your knees. Your blurry vision starts to kick in. Your combat reflexes start to immediately go after a gun, and you'll notice that there is someone standing in the hallway that divides living room and the kitchen. That there's a gentleman standing there, and he's just pointing at you, and you can't hear what he's saying. Your ears are ringing, but you see like this purplish like light that engulfs you, and you find yourself unable to move in every way possible. And then a few seconds later, you feel like you're stuck to the ground, impossibly stuck to the ground by like this super flypaper that the floor just all of a sudden just became.
Well, she knows where to direct her hostilities when she gets a chance. At the moment, she is pretty sure she has an idea of what's gripped her. She is not going to bother trying to pull weapons out and so forth. At the minute, she will bide her time and focus on them, since they have the upper hand.
Correct. You are able to see you're carpeted. Indeed, you are magic net. You know how these spells work, so you're screwed, for lack of a better term. Shooting is not going to help you one bit because you can't move and you can't shoot out of it right now. You don't have an active weapon that was drawing. You were in the process of drawing. That's what the whole stun effect was for, so that way you couldn't even fight back for the magic net and the carpet of adhesion. There is another. You will notice that there are 3 people currently inside this house. There is a gentleman in front of you, dressed in street garb. He was the one that looked like he cast the magic net onto you. Off to your right, sitting on the couch, a form comes into view as if he was concealed by some manner. He comes into view. He's wearing somewhat decent clothing, and he has some sort of wand-like contraption that's in his hand that is has little pretty lights on the front of it, like a kaleidoscope kind of thing that's spinning. It looks like it's kind of winding down, like it's powering down from casting something upon you. And the third person is a very tall, strikingly beautiful redhead in a very nice, revealing red dress, who, long flowing red hair, everything, and looks like she was in the kitchen, and she comes walking around to walk up to you when your mind settles, so to speak. Both your hands and your legs are carpeted. Just to let you know, you can move your head around and look at her. You can speak. You can see her. The fog of the psychic attack lifts at this time. Is there anything you need to add?
At the moment, let her head clear, focus on them. They obviously have something to tell her, otherwise she wouldn't be alive right now. and see what it is they have to say. She is at the time also trying to memorize as many details about them as she can. That's the only thing she can do right now.
Gotcha. Well, the redhead will pull up a stool, and she'll sit like a proper lady would on a stool, just outside of your reach, and the look on her face is kind of intimidating. She just has this command aura to her. I don't believe that you don't have any psionics or detection means or anything like that with your character that involves that kind of stuff. That I see. I don't think you do, right?
Nope, not as far as I know.
Okay.
Non-psychic.
Just making sure that there wasn't a special ability or something that I'm missing. So she will, and she'll put up her finger and wave it back and forth like, scolding a child kind of thing. And she finally speaks, and she goes, "You and your group have caused me a lot of issues. I would like to know who you are and who you work for. And let's try and make this as nice as possible. Because I really don't feel like hurting you, but I have no problem doing that. And my associates really don't have a problem with hurting and taking back what they consider as their property, your sisters."
Harley glares at her intently. She holds a civil tongue in her mouth, but she's just getting as much detail as she can on her face, on their faces, and so forth. She's keeping her attention focused on all of them. Now, for the minute, the woman in red. When she asks her who she is, Harley just simply says, "My name is Harley. As for who do I work for, I work for myself."
Okay, I'd like for you to roll me a percentage off of your mental affinity. You have a trusted intimidation percentage of 15. I just want a general roll based off of that.
Okay. 47.
Okay.
Not that intent.
Well, no, all it's doing is just setting up exactly how you were answering that to resist the intimidation. Your character is not, shall we say, scared or officially intimidated or anything like that. So you're not giving out information that you normally wouldn't. So that's perfectly fine. Your answer was very much valid. She will reply, "I already know that your name is Harley. I also already know your two sisters' name. I somewhat know who Ratchet is and his business. But what I don't know and what my employers want to know is why you and your friends decided to raid not my facility. I shouldn't say our facility. I mean my employer's facility. I guess it was like a week ago, that you freed your sister, which is, I understand completely, a very noble thing. I get it, but there is a cost that has been assigned to the business because of that. And my job is to make sure that those costs do not affect the bottom line, or I can't assume that you're educated enough in business to understand, but okay, my bosses don't like what you did.
See, in essence, I went and got my sisters back, and it's costing them money because their colleague who was running the business is now pushing up daisies. That much I can easily understand. My message to him was, don't take my family from me. So I killed him.
Well, that's really not your call, though, is it? You're just an outsider.
It involves my family. It involves what I have left. As far as I'm concerned, that belongs to me. He had no right to take it. So he paid the price for it. His death.
So then, if you're going to make that assumption based off of your morality of judgment, then you must understand exactly why I have to do what I need to do then. Does that make sense?
So, from a business standpoint, with regards to keeping the money flowing and so forth, that is also easily to understand. It's simply a case of something has happened to disrupt the flow, which was me and my colleagues getting my family back, and that's causing stress to the higher-ups. That's what it boils down to. It's simply the case of your colleague took from me what I consider to be mine. He paid the price for it. You're now here for reparations and to see to it that the flow continues again and things are taken care of so there's no more grief.
It would seem that your level of understanding the streets and how things run around here is actually pretty well established. I'm actually somewhat impressed. I really wish I didn't have to extract this from you this way, and what unfortunately we're going to have to do because business.
Correct? Yeah, I blame it on an old cyborg from the coalition that I know. He's a friend. He's a nice big guy, but he's had experience far beyond the walls, so he would sit around the campfire and tell me stories. I listened very...
You cut out? Say again.
Well, blame it on an old coalition cyborg that I've known for quite some time. He's had an adventure beyond the walls. He would tell me stories. I listened very well.
Understood. I'd like to think that maybe if things didn't go south this way and I wasn't employed with doing the job that I am, that maybe I could have worked something out with someone like you for hired muscle. Next time, maybe like in your next life or whatnot, you can make a little bit better of a decision, so that way you don't fall on the wrong side of the power struggle in the streets. So I really mean this, is from one girl to another, but it just ends up as a little bit of a bad luck for you, and I'm really sorry about that.
Well, like I said before, basically, he took from me something that I have very little left of, family. I consider it very precious. He claimed they were his. He had no right to them. I won the argument. End of sentence. That's just how I felt.
Understood. I get that. It's very admirable of you. Well, I guess we need to get to the unpleasant part of this. Now, here's where I'm going to stop. That's the last part of the sentence that she's going to get out, because you notice in her face immediately in mid-sentence, she just stops talking. Her eyes look like all of a sudden they just want to bulge completely out of her face. Like there's pressure inside her head that is physically causing her eyeballs to pop out. You can see what looks like immediate veins of blood vessels and stuff in her forehead that just immediately throb forward, and her mouth drops open, kind of like in a silent scream kind of thing. Tears start to form in her eyes as she lurches forward a little bit, and those you notice that her eyes immediately pop blood vessels, and they start to bleed in the white portion of her eyes and everything. Something unnatural has happened to this girl at this time, and you're like, what the heck is going on? You focus beyond her to the bald guy in the normal clothing who's standing in the hallway. He's standing up against the wall nonchalantly, arms folded. It doesn't really look like much is going on. If anything, he looks bored. And you're going to hear a growl come from behind him, and when he turns around, you'll be able to notice like this kind of a tall black dog-like figure in armor just jump this guy. He falls on his face. The dog boy lands on top of him, and you can hear this guy just yelling out in pain and surprise. The guy on the couch, he stands up immediately, and he yells out, coalition, and then you're going to see a laser blast strike him in the chest. He's going to fall over backwards from the chair, go behind the couch. His body falls behind the couch and the wall. Part of the couch slides out, and another dog boy jumps across the whole living room in like one jump. And he's kind of a smaller looking dog boy. If anything, he's kind of like a bulldog type dog boy. And he clears the whole room in the air and jumps right onto the guy back behind the couch. The girl in front of you falls uncharismatically, probably slightly embarrassing. She just falls forward where her head just thumps into the floor, and you'll notice that there is another dog boy, a third one, that has walked up next to Harley. And he bends down, and he's sniffing at the redheaded girl, and you can definitely tell that this dog boy is a Doberman. What I'd like for you to do at this time for Harley is roll me a percent, and I'm going to use this as a sort of a IQ type roll, so for identification purposes. So please give me a percentage.
Okay. 3.
Harley will immediately recognize this Doberman as one of the Dobermans for Commander Farah.
Yes, the woman who in a proper dress makes her feel like a 10-year-old.
And right as soon as you it snaps in your mind that's who this belongs to, there is another figure that walks into the apartment, and yes, it is Commander Farah. She is in skin, and I mean absolutely skin-tight black coalition, like latex sort of an outfit, but it's done up to where it's completely revealing of all of her womanhood stature, but still provides somewhat protection and also notification that she is coalition states. It is the CS PSI logo is prominently displayed everywhere on her. Again, she is bald, and she doesn't walk in, she saunters in. Everything about Commander Farah when it comes to her stature is sexy as hell. It's just the way it is. And I actually did a NPC sheet on her. I put it up in the chat. I don't know if all you guys saw it, but I did roll quite well for her physical beauty. She has a 19 in her physical beauty, 5'8", 110 pounds, and she loves to take care of her looks, and she loves to abuse Ratchet. So that being said, Harley, she's going to saunter over. She's going to take her 2 fingers, touch them to the temple of the redhead in front of you, and the redhead's just going to make like a gurgling sound and hit the ground. Out. Passed out. Done. And Commander Farah's going to pull up that same stool that she was sitting on, and she's going to pull it up and sit in front of you, and she's going to face you, and she's going to look at Harley, and she'll address Harley at that time. She's like, I really, really dislike unregistered bursters. And she looks down at the girl, and she's like, oh, Scarlet, if you had any idea of how long we have been watching you and your little lapdogs. And then she looks over at her, at the tall Doberman, who has this look of all like, really? We had to go there kind of look. And she was all like, it's a term of expression. Just stop. Secure the others. Call for a wagon. We need transport in no more than about 10 minutes after interrogation. And the Doberman by her side, he just nods and grunts, and then he makes like a little growl. And you'll see the other Doberman roughly picks up the other guy, who obviously we'll just say he's some sort of magic user, and they immediately throw a mechanical gag on him and then mechanical bindings, and they don't do it in the nicest of ways. They're actually pretty rough about it. They're like, force his head into the wall a little bit, or crack some plaster, maybe crack some drywall and stuff. Kick him behind the knees kind of roughly to make him go down on his knees where they can apply leg restraints. This guy grunts, and he'll let out some complaints, and both the Dobermans who are standing over him, one of them is going to elbow him into the side of the head and snarl and growl in his face to make him shut up, and they'll end up hog tying him, and they start to pick him up and take him outside. And while they're taking him outside, they're, maybe on purpose, maybe by accident. You could probably say more on purpose. He accidentally, has some head-on collisions with some furniture and a floor, or, door jam, things like that. Not so
I was just watching that, and it's amazing how much they were this. You really should strip him nude to make sure he didn't hide anything.
And she said, and Commander Farah, she says, well, I appreciate your input, but I've been doing this job an awfully long time. We kind of know what we're doing, but Thank you. The bulldog will pick up the other guy. He looks like he is already completely unconscious. He is also bound and gagged, and the bulldog doesn't have any problems tossing this guy onto his muscular frame. I mean, if a bulldog could look like a dwarf, this would be the perfect specimen. He is as wide as he is tall, and it's all muscle. He's short and powerfully built, and he'll just heft this guy right over his left shoulder with one arm, and his right hand he holds out a device and he hands it over to Commander Farah while he's walking past, and Commander Farah just looks at it, and she concentrates for a second, and you see some lights kind of light up and stuff, and she just kind of smirks, and she reeks back behind her and produces this black, small little black canvas bag that's got CS logo on it and has a string of numbers on it. And so she throws it in there and zips it up, and then it has like some sort of lock on it that beeps when she activates the lock. And then she'll sit back down and she's all like, "Oh, there's one for the archives. Off to the Black Vault we go." Or if that kind of thing existed, that's where it would go.
Right.
Yeah. Supposed to exist somewhere out in Arizona, I thought, isn't it? It's by a lake somewhere.
That's one of the rumors. Let's just keep it at that. That sounds great. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about your spells that are still active on you, but they are getting weaker, and you'll be free here in a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to wait, and I want to make sure that you're okay. But this also gives us, and she's going to clasp her hands together, kind of fast, and she'll be like, this also gives us a great time to have some girl talk.
Yeah, I saw the billboard when you walked in. Joy and love and fame. I thank you for the rescue. I feel I owe you something in addition to my life. So what can I do for you, ma'am? Talk to me, please.
Oh, we can talk about what you owe me later on. Let's just make sure that you're okay. The bulldog's going to walk in, and she's going and she'll give out some commands. And she's like, in the back room, there's going to be 2 females that are tied up. One is mystically endowed and psionically endowed. The other one is a normal human. Make sure that they are okay. We are not arresting the altered human at this time, according to statute limitations for the CS. And she gives out this series of numbers. And the bulldog just nods his head, doesn't question it, and just walks off towards the down the hallway to go check on your sisters, apparently. And then she'll focus back on you, and Farah will say, your sisters will be taken care of. As an additional benefit, I am not going to log your older sister as an unregistered psychic. I'm going to turn the other cheek today because I have other prizes that have been given to me today. I think that's all the paperwork I want to do is these 3.
Well, I can tell you what they told me. She was sent because when me and my colleagues originally went to rescue my sisters from a local drug dealer and pusher, we kind of seen to it that he died a messy death. She was here in order to get the point across to me that I've disrupted the money flow. So her higher-ups got a little annoyed about that and obviously be taught a lesson. And they were coming to, quote, unquote, take back their property, meaning my family. As to who this employer was, it was not revealed to me. The lady in question was regretful that she was going to have to cause me severe, if not fatal harm, her and her companions. Beyond that, I can't really tell you much more. I don't really know much more of that unless you can get more out of them. That's all they told me. But she did mention that there was apparently a balance of power going on, some kind of a street war. So I don't think this is the last I and the others are going to hear of it. And that I'm confident. So if you do what I think you're going to do, which is disappear into the night, you might be able to use this in a way that's beneficial if rumor has it that this assault team, so to say, failed. And I still survived. You understand what I'm saying. As she smiles, her best smile.
She's like, "Oh, you won't have to worry about it. We've been watching this group for a while, and it's more than just a little petty street gang. It is a criminal underground that is aspiring to become bigger than what they really are. So these three will provide us with much necessary information, and I'm sure they'll, well, you just will probably never see them again. Yeah, that's terrible. The crimes that they committed against our glorious coalition states. But this is what happens when you break the law, especially out here in the burbs, where really law doesn't exist other than what we make of it. Oh, speaking of which, I have something, and it's going to be an interesting little present, and this goes into you paying me back for helping you out and releasing you. You being a good friend of my latest boy toy, and that delicious little sandwich that he is. But Ratchet, your ears are burning out of character. So Ratchet, you feel it? Do you feel it? Is it burning?
Oh yeah.
So one of the Doberman's going to walk up with a purse and hand it to Farah. Farah's going to take the purse, and she's going to open it up and rummage through. Start going through it. She'll look up at you, and she's like, "You should be able to move and have full facilities right about now." And then right when she says now, indeed, you feel the carpet of adhesion fades away, and the magic net just kind of slides off your body and just dissipates into energy nothingness. And you don't feel anything that's holding you down or whatnot.
She'll take a few seconds. She'll smile, shift off her knees to a comfortable sitting position.
Okay.
And look at the... that feels much better. I'm wondering, considering you've already said you've known about this balance of power kind of thing and gangs trying to get stronger and so forth. As for part of the debt that I owe you for my life, do you need any bait to help bring some more of them out of the shadows where you can get a hold of them?
She'll hold up her right hand, palm towards you, and pat the air. And she's like, "Oh, hold on. All due time. We're girls here. We have standards to maintain. Let's hold." And then she's going to, and then she'll return back to looking at the contents of the purse, and she pulls out some keys, and she's all like, "Man, that's a good car, good for M-Pound, I may use it," and then she's gonna pull out like this pinkish liquid, and she's gonna spray it on her, she's gonna sniff it, and then spray it on her neck, and she's gonna waft it around with her hands a little bit, and she's gonna be like, make a sniffing noise, and she's gonna be like, Oh my goodness, that is lovely. What the heck is that? That is a call. Sorry. Which then she'll waft this odor. For Harley, just roll me a d6. An odd means you like it, and an even means it doesn't smell that good to you. Go for it.
5.
Okay. So what are your thoughts?
It's actually kind of pleasing, but that's actually not bad.
Okay. So she's like, oh, that's she's like, that's lovely. I think Ratchet's really. She's like, ooh, I think he'd really like this, and she'll play with her collar a little bit and spray some, in between, and Ratchet's ears all of a sudden go like, what?
Harley is trying not to sit there and stare at the cleavage, thinking, okay, knowing my luck, it's not implants. She's thinking, no, knowing my luck, it's natural, of course. She can't have artificial. No, she's got to have grown them. Just a sigh of discontent when she looks at herself like,
All right. So then while she continues to rummage around, she looks at some credits and cred chits and just kind of throws them back in. And then she's going to pull out what looks like 2 books. Now, for you and your character growing up in the burbs, without a doubt, having books is bad.
Yeah, she knows that having books can be a problem, unless they are the ones that the coalition has sanitized.
Well,
highly unlikely in this case.
Sanitized or not, any sort of written documentation is actually considered illegal in the coalition states. Now, the burbs, again, because they sit outside, it's not as enforced, but if you're caught with them, depending on the types of books that they are, it can carry the death penalty immediately by execution. Again, depending on the books, like if they're a technical nature or anything written by, Aaron Tarn or, something like that. Yeah. But so she has these 2 books. They're not very thick books. Maybe both books look like a couple of 100 pages. And she's going to set the books on the floor in front of her. And Farrah will look at you, and then she'll point at the books and then look back at you, and she goes, do you know what those symbolize?
Harley will actually look at them for about 30 to 40 seconds and make the most pathetic attempt to read the title. And she's actually straining to try. And it should come out something like a child trying to guess what's on a Happy Meal.
Okay. And she obviously picks up on it, and she's all like, but even if you can't read them, you understand their significance and legal implications when it comes to having these in your possession, correct?
I think that usually means she's going to be taking a swim in a very deep pond with about 10 tons of concrete, at least her physical remain.
Right. So here's how you pay me back. This comes twofold. And the first one is, and she'll take her right foot and she'll slide both the books over, the couple of feet that's in between the two of you. So slide them over, seductively, if anything. I mean, but it's just how she is. It's her nature. She'll slide those books over, and she'll say, "Will you please be a dear, and in a way that does not implicate me giving them to you, I want those items to go to your friend that you've been hanging out with, Lou, if you would."
I can do that. That's very easy, in fact.
Right. And again, say that it's that you found it. I would say that to provide you with a good cover story, that when you came over to your sister's house, It was being rated by the coalition that you can explain everything that happened here. And in fact, I would love it, love it if you were to explain that it was my unit and my boys that broke this up, because Ratchet likes a good story. And I'd like to prove to him that that I am a working girl and I can still maintain this while still working. And but just say that we left and that you found that purse, this purse that I'm going to confiscate, but that the 2 books you found, and you feel that this is in his area of expertise as being the let's not sugarcoat it. He's a mage. We know this. It's okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not coming after anyone. I know my job. I'm just telling you, give these to him because he's going to know best how to dispose of them. But do so without me being implicated. Do you think you can do that for me?
I can do that without a problem. I've already got an idea in my head what happened. It's a good thing that the living room was a little messed up. It's amazing how things get knocked into corners or underneath, this or that get overlooked.
That's true. I don't think Lou has the type of psychic abilities to be able to scan your memory, but if you're afraid of that, I could be the bad girl in all this and just wipe that portion of your memory out and install my own, but I'd rather not do that. I like you. I really like Ratchet, and I don't want to affect I don't want to affect my relationship by affecting his friends in that manner. Does that sound reasonable? I think that sounds reasonable.
I think it's a very good idea, and I'm not afraid of it. I don't think you can do it as far as I know, but yes, that sounds
excellent. And while we're on this, I'd like for you to do some information gathering on the side that could actually provide quite lucrative for you as credits goes, and also it keeps me from having to fill out official reports of what happened here today and who all you hang out with. You know what I mean?
Yes, that tedious paperwork that can get just so annoying when the red tape chokes you. I understand enough.
Okay. So what I'd like for you to find out is I'd like to know who Lou is really working for. You guys have got a lot of money. You have been given plenty of jobs by unknown, shall we say, people that only go through your friend Lou. I'd like to know who that is. So if you happen to hear anything, you don't have to probe. Don't make it, obvious that you're asking. Just keep your ears open. If you hear of something, maybe make a little mental note, and then you can, at some point that you see me again, which I'm sure is going to be a lot. I plan to spend a lot of time at Ratchet's place in the future. So you can just hold that information and then just provide it to me when we have more one-on-one girl time. So, okay, so she, what was the last part that you remember before you had to take off?
Basically, her and me discussing as to how I was going to slip the books to Lou, and that she most certainly wanted to make it well known that it was her group that did it. I'm figuring she wants me to tell her boy toy that they jumped in and saved my neck, but beyond that, nobody else is supposed to know. And I also know that she wants me to do a little bit of fly on the wall eavesdropping and try to find out who it is that Lou is getting the jobs from. She's curious, and I owe her my life, so I have to find.
You just cut out.
Yeah. What was the line? Like I said, she knows she has to have to get the books to Lou. She has to. She got to plan how to do it. She intends to tell the local boy toy who it was that saved her life, and she knows it because she owes her. She wants to find out where we get the jobs from. If she can do a fly on the wall and figure things out, she'll feed the information to the psychic with a billboard for a chest, as in huge.
Yeah. Okay, so she'll at that point then she says, so we understand each other, and you know what I'd like for you to do, and this also solidifies an opportunity that you fall underneath certain protections that are given by me as a law governess for the internal psychic security force within the coalition states. We're allowed some anonymity within our power and what we're able to do. So certain things don't exactly have to get reported. Say, she doesn't say it, but she just kind of motions with her right hand and her thumb, back down towards the hallway. Obviously, she's talking about your sister, right?
Harley just nods and smiles like she understands and doesn't make any motion in that direction. She gets the idea and she is grateful for it.
Okay, and then so Farrah will nod her head, and then she's like, okay, so on to the second piece of important information that I'd like to get from you, if you're ready.
Harley nods, basically sits there. She gets comfortable, sit on the floor, legs spread, keeps her hands away from her weapons, and just relaxes. And is like, all right, let's hear what you got, lady.
So she's again, because it's her, she's going to seductively lean forward. She has this childlike look on her face of just like, not intimidation or anything. It's almost like you're not talking to a coalition state's psionic officer all of a sudden. Her face is that trustworthy. It's like a light switch. You're just like, wow, hey. And then she'll lean forward and she just goes, do you think Ratchet really likes me? Girl to girl. Does he like me?
She actually takes a few seconds and like she's milling over in her head and thinks and looks at her with a straight answer. I think he, all honesty, everything aside from what I've overheard, the way he talks about you when you're not there, it's a little more than smitten. I think he's enamored with you, and he's a little clumsy as to how to approach you properly. You can be overwhelming at times, sexually. And that time when, from what I understand, a little rough happened between you two, I think he liked it. He's hoping you're not going to basically, destroy him or his friend. But from what I was able to read between the lines, overhearing guy talk between him and a couple of soldiers that stopped by to drop off a couple of weapons to be repaired, coalition, no doubt, that there's talk there that it was enjoyable, and he wonders if that's what you're going to want more of. He's trying to figure out how to be a better man to you in that regard. So I think he's quite fond of you, but he's a little inexperienced. Therefore, it's a case of, what do I do next? Do I tell her I liked it? Do I tell her I didn't like it? I know she enjoyed it. How do you approach this? And few soldiers in question that he talked to, going from my own knowledge of the Burbs, 90% of that was bragging more than it was experience. So he's got on to square two as to where to go.
She actually looks genuinely happy, and she'll add, I'm not going to say that I'm the type of woman that ties herself down to any one guy. My job kind of entitles me to, and sort of invites me to flirt and to be physical with especially male subjects that could be easily intimidated in that way, and by nature I have to feed off of the psychic emanations that everyone provides, and especially if they're being arrested, well, they just don't need those abilities, so I can satisfy myself for several days based off of how much energy they are holding in, which I'm sure you understand. But between you and I, and just between you and I can sense that you weren't lying to me or withholding any information, and I really appreciate that. Given you probably understand who I am, so it wouldn't do you any favors whatsoever. Which again speaks volumes to that you have the again missing the word, that you have the respect not to try and insult me. But Ratchet is something different, more than just a job, more than just someone to extract information and to use to get to the overall bad guys, as would be what my job entails. For some reason, I just feel different. Does that make any sense?
I think he summed up to the nature of he's something that's becoming special to you. Like you said, you don't want to be tied down. Your job prevents it to a degree. He's just something that has become a little more important to you than information or an afternoon snack, so to say.
Exactly. You understand. And so she's going to be like, well, that's it. I'm going to leave. The bulldog comes walking out, and he nods at Commander Farah, and he'll continue walking out of the house, and she'll say, okay, well, we are going to take our leave. I'm sorry I can't clean up after the mess that my boys did, but if they did, that would kind of ruin the whole reputation of why we were here in the first place. So, sorry about that. But I'm going to take my leave. You make sure that those items there get delivered. And I'm sure I will try and do my best to maybe see you later tonight. I have a load of paperwork and a lot of interrogating to do. I don't know how long it's going to take.
You know where to find me. I'm fairly easy to dig up. Take your time. I'm sure you can squeeze them for all they're worth and a little bit extra. And I shall endeavor to do my best, as agreed upon, to keep my end of the promise for my life.
She just smiles. She'll stand up and hold out her hand to to guide you up, so you'll stand up, and then as probably a surprise to you, she just gives you this nice little girl hug.
On the inside of her mind, when she's hugged like that, she responds. But one back corner of her mind is like, yeah, that's my luck. They're natural. 100%. in that same corner of mind, that part of her mind looks down at her own psychic image of her chest. It's like, where were you when puberty happened? You guys were out. No, you had to leave somewhere else and didn't tell anybody. No, of course. No, I had to grow muscle instead of this. God, I hate it when they get this good.
Oh, Monty, that's awesome. All right, that's role playing right there. That's what that is. So, you guys hug it out, and then she's just gonna saunter right on out. I'm sure you watch her when she goes outside. There is going to be a sleek black wheeled, kind of like the equivalent of a four-door car, like just kind of long, like a Lincoln or some sort of four-door car. It's not marked at all. That's where Commander Farah and her dog boys get into. You'll notice that just pulling away is going to be a hover vehicle. It kind of looks like a big box, like a van type thing. No windows at all. Has big, white, prominent PSI on the sides, the front, the back, the underside, everywhere, marking it as a coalition side division vehicle. It's got yellow lights on it that are actively strobing, and it's driving off. And then Farah and her dog boys will get into their car. She'll wave at you, and then they drive off. So now it's up to you. What would you like to do?
She'll see that. After a few seconds, she'll quietly shut the door, turn, take a deep breath, look around, move a couple of things. The books will vanish into pockets in her gear so that she won't lose them. She will then head back slowly and check on the two sisters and make sure that they're doing all right. Hopefully they weren't too roughed up or nothing was put in them, like as injections or what have you. She's half certain maybe they might have to keep them placid. It's a little worrying, but she's got to check anyway.
No, your third sister, Wendy, she says that they're okay. The guys just basically knocked on the door. The girl was there. They didn't even ask any questions. They just magically assaulted them, rendered Mara unconscious immediately with psychic attacks, and then they used spells and stuff to keep them to where they were basically hogtied in the bedroom. But other than that, they didn't get they weren't roughed up or anything. They were surprised by the dog boy. Even Mara's, or Mara, however you want to. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Is it Mara or Mara?
I believe it's Mara.
Mara? Okay, so Mara will then say, I was a little shocked that a dog boy came back there. I thought I was about to be arrested and everything, and I started to cry, and he was actually really nice and told me that I didn't have anything to worry about, that we didn't have anything to worry about, that it was all being taken care of by his commander, and that you had struck a deal with the commander, and that this wouldn't be registered or that I wouldn't be registered or even included in the report. So she's like, I don't know. Mara's kind of taken back by that. She's like, I don't know how you worked into having such connections in the coalition states that you just kept me from being executed just now. She said, but I can also tell you that, you know your sister can read. Mara can read. And she was standing in the living room when you came back, and you scooped up the books and put them away. And she says, I also know that those two books there are Aaron Tarn history documentary copies. Those type of books right there get you executed on sight for having. So I think you owe Wendy and I a little explanation on why we're still standing here and I'm not arrested.
Harley just smiles and looks at her and says, well, I'll give you the short version. The individuals who came in were of a nature that they were far more wanted than you or I or Wendy. Much, much more wanted. And the books in question, well, they got knocked around. I just found them. And I think I know who they're going to be going to with regards to one of my colleagues, that the lady who has the bulldog and her other two companions, she's fond of. She has made a request of my talents, and in exchange for your lives, and the fact that you two were not here when this happened afterwards, thankfully unconscious, that things will be dropped off to someone else in a very quick and neat manner. Later, she's going to have me do a little bit more digging, and I'm pretty sure she's going to need someone to be bait to help out with regards to drawing a few more of these unsavory characters out of the shadows. There was talk before they arrived that I've disrupted the balance of power between two warring factions. I have my suspicions I'm going to be needed to do that again. But at the same token, I need to make sure you two are going to be all right. That's everything in a nutshell. Don't ask anything else. Because if someone else shows up that I can't be here to protect you from, that might be able to read minds, you don't need to know.
Okay, cool. So what are you going to do with the for the rest of your time until you take off, basically?
Help them clean up, make sure they're all right, do whatever else I can, get the place back in order, and when I feel it is safe, I will head out and make a beeline right back to Ratchet's shop. I'm going to be wondering in my head as to what else I can do to help her, and how it's going to be to figure things out regarding who gives our missions. That's put back on the shelf in my head for the time being, because that's a tall order, but it's going to be done somehow.
Yeah. What did you take a vehicle out here, or? So I don't think you own
as far
one.
as I know, it was only a handful of miles, I thought, so she simply hoofed it. It gave her time to
Okay. Good enough.
reflect.
Yeah, that's good enough. I just wanted to wanted to know. It's no big deal.
Well, she also doesn't own one either, so that's. And
Yeah.
as far as the others being worked on, so she can't quite borrow one.
Are you going to take off any funds to give to your sisters to pay for stuff?
She's gonna leave 3,000 with him to make sure.
Okay, just take it off your character sheet then. That's good. All right. And then you're going to walk back to Ratchet's place, which at that time is going to be roughly around noonish. We're probably either taking naps or just doing work around the shop. Is that right, Ratchet? Does that sound okay, or do you have any plans?
Nope. this the day after we pulled out the bike?
Yes, that will. Yeah, the power source has been pulled out of the bike sufficiently and with enough skill that you can do it without damaging the unit, including some of the stuff that Dion messed up with his roll. You're just like, why'd you take that off? That doesn't come off. He was like, it was an extra wire. Yeah, it was an extra wire I didn't think we needed. And you're like, how many times did I tell you to stop thinking for yourself? So,
Not here for.
Right. That's funny. So yeah, we'll be working on that stuff. I was going back through inventory, and you did get. I'm showing that. Didn't you get some amethyst from that adventure that we had with Samwise? Remember the guy who we busted up his group? I thought you got some amethyst with that.
No,
Was this the guy with or the drug lord?
No, it was Samwise, the guy with the your 35-foot TW bus. You stole the bus from him after killing all of his guys. He had a whole bunch of. He had
some gems on them, but this is what I have from what I got. Diamonds, turquoises, quartz, ruby reds, and yellow topaz. I have no amethyst written down.
Oh, that's what he had on it. Oh, never mind. You guys didn't go to his house. Never mind. That's the stuff that was at his house. Ah, my bad. Okay, sorry. I saw the loot here for his house, but you guys never made it to his house. You wouldn't know where he lived because you guys killed him without asking him where he lived or any of that. Okay, I got it.
Prejudice, he's dead. Yes.
Yeah. If we were playing D&D though, we just would have got a priest who can speak with dead and say, "Tell us where the hell you live, peckerhead."
To raise you your my old friend.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just working around. You're probably looking at what it's going to take to ultimately turn this power source into a how to connect stuff to it for universal recharge station. You're going to need basically, and I've been looking into this, you're going to need high capacity energy, which is just going to be like for lasers and for like what you could consider like normal energies, kind of fusion type energy for lasers. You'll need something as a plasma converter to convert for plasma weapons, and then particle beam takes highly ionized particles, so that's a different. It's a type of energy, but it is a different type of energy, so you'd have to have a different converter for that. For ions, you can still use the basis of laser type energies, more electrical and highly ionized, but you can still go off of the requirements for laser and ion, pretty much the same. But particle beam is much higher, and plasma is just a whole different phase of energy. So so you've got some converters you're going to have to find some parts for, spend some money, and then you can attach them to this thing, and then you can start recharging. Okay?
Yeah. In other words, my charge station is going to have multiple cradles.
Yes, it's going to have to. I mean, the different types of energies are going to be required. So you can't just take a plasma canister and plug it into a recharger that's made for laser and think that it's going
platform. We just
right.
Right
Yeah, right, right. So
it'll be good in a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we do this with our cell phones. We used to do this back then too.
I'm not so sure I want to plug my cell phone into a plasma converter. Pow! Oh, son of a bitch. My Verizon plan hates my guts.
The 15th one already.
This week. It just got to where you just call them up and on their automated service, if this is Ratchet, please stop. So it'll be about noon. Harley will come walking in to the shop. She's been gone like all morning. So she comes in.
Drub looks a little bit roughed up from helping them clean up. She has not cleaned up herself yet, and she figures people will probably get one explanation. The looking roughed up will add to her credibility.
You look dirty, girl.
Dion will just wave at you. He'll be all like, "Hi, Harley." He don't care how you look. He don't care how. He does not care how she looks. To him, she looks good all the time.
Whatever. Nudge, nudge. I've got you now. You go get her. You get her. Go get her. Go get her.
Stop.
Whatever. Whatever.
Is there anything you do, Harley, or is it just putz around? Or do you have anything planned?
Actually, she's going to take a few seconds. She's going to sit down, call the guys over, and tell them an abbreviated version of what happened. In essence, that Mr. Drug Lord had a couple of enforcers with his lieutenant, whatever the hell she was, that showed up and basically was going to turn her into a dirt smear, and her sisters were going to vanish. But a certain psychic female in a sultry bit of garb with 3 heavily armed canines apparently showed up and made sure she kept breathing. Apparently these individuals are wanted badly by the CS, and the reason she's telling you guys this is because she thinks that as part of the deal, because she owes this woman her life, we might be called upon, me in particular, to act as bait to draw out more of the unsavory element, because the lady in question, before she's going to kill me, made mention that there is a power struggle going on. And because we squeakied that drug dealer when I got my sisters originally, we tipped the balance and we stopped the flow of money. I think we pissed off some people, me in particular.
Seeing my fabulous Pharaoh was there.
Yes, I'd say that was her. It's kind of hard not to miss that billboard for her chest.
I know. I know. Well, shit, I might have to call her.
Yeah, she comes walking in, basically showing off those beach balls of hers and that kind of thing and so forth. But I can't complain too much. I'm still breathing thanks to her.
Oh my. Though I have doubts sometimes.
Dion has got this disgusted look on his face, and he's like, "So is this good for us, or is this bad for us?"
It's kind of a mix, good and bad. Good because I'm still breathing, bad because I'm pretty sure that drug dealer is probably going to have his higher-ups are probably going to send somebody else down to get rid of us because we got rid of his team. As far as anyone is concerned, she was never there. They just failed to kill me very, very badly. I mean, like we'll see him again, but like I said, I'm pretty sure word's going to get back to the underground that this team failed, and it's going to piss somebody off. So we got to be on your toes, guys. There might be some other repercussions from this from the.
Well, what I really meant was, is this good for us with Coalition, or is this bad for us with Coalition?
Well, Oh, in that regard, the lady in question said there might be some more business coming our way, especially for doing a few dirty jobs to help reveal some of these snakes they can walk out and step on. This way they can sort of stay out of it, but it's a little more hazardous for us, but it will also be more lucrative from what I get.
What's lucrative?
A very large amount of money. Tacos and even hamburgers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tacos.
I'm in.
No tacos.
So we're good with trusting the coalition's psychic officer with all this, with all what we do and stuff. Would, you know, obviously, you know.
Well, she's keeping an eye on us. Let's put it that way, and it's helping.
No shit, that's what they do. And then you just don't wake up in the morning and you're gone.
Still here.
I don't think that's going to happen to us right at this particular minute. We're too useful. So let's just keep playing with that, shall we?
Okay. Dion, you can tell by his expression he's not completely sold on it, but he's there. He's like, all right. Stick your dick and crazy, and this is what happens, but all right. So Dion he'll be like, well, it's lunchtime. I'm gonna go down the street to Mac Hut and go grab some burgers. You know, grab something for all of us. I'll be right back. Then he holds out his hands for money.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah, I got you. Here's a credit chip.
how much are you giving the poor guy? Remember,
Fuck.
remember this is Dion. A typical lunch in the burbs of what you guys are talking about for a group of three is going to be about 50 or so credits with inflation and just how the credit, you know, just the cost. Yeah, it's going to be like 50.
I'll give him 100. Fuck it.
Okay.
If he wants extra drinks or whatever he wants, he can have it.
Well, you know, he always gets something extra because he eats all the damn time. He's got that increased metabolism for being a crazy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If he needs something for like leftovers or extras later on, he can get it.
Yeah.
Marked it.
All right, so he runs off and grabs something. He comes back. We sit down. We have a lunch, and we turn on our little holo vid. Watch a little Coalition States Network. You know that. It's
Why
not
are all these movies the same?
They're all.
Why do they always win? This is boring.
So, speaking of which, all three of us are going to see this while we're eating. On the Coalition States CCTV network, which is, you know, there actually are network stations that are broadcast from the CS. You can't really pick them up on the outside because they're not really antenna driven. The CS doesn't like just broadcast. They do more of like cable kind of stuff. But the CS Burbs and where we live is all set up to where, since we're CS sympathizers and backed by it, we have access to their network. So there's a interesting broadcast that is put out on the news that the Coalition States 4th Fast Infantry Unit, along with the 102nd Airstrike Units, engage a coalition outpost that was taken over by a group that has called themselves Revenge of the Fallen. video evidence has been shown, and you'll see, they'll actually show video of coalition units of, or they'll show out on a field, which looks very familiar to where we came from just a few days ago, if you guys remember. Hopefully you guys realize the significance of the Revenge of the Fallen name. We had to deal with that. That was a previous game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So the video shows a array of magic users and different types of monsters, the same type of monsters that we saw that were getting summoned when we were with the unit that started the attack. You know how the shifters and leyline walkers and stuff, some of them summoned certain types of mega damage monsters and stuff to fight for them. You'll see some of those same monsters on there. And then, of course, you're going to see a whole bunch of headhunters of various types, DB human types, and juicers galore. And they're just getting absolutely wrecked and carpet bombed by coalition states. You guys will obviously recognize the coalition outpost. It just takes a pummeling by missiles, by Samuses and rocket bikes, and you're going to see all types of robot vehicles that are converging onto the Revenge of the Fallen. It looks like the whole guys for Revenge of the Fallen, they all look like they retreat into the coalition outpost that you guys were at. And it looks like they are making their last stands there, but they just can't. They just can't compete with the amount of firepower that the coalition states has brought with them. The airstrike units is a whole bunch of Samus. You'll see PAO6 Samuses, which is the normal Samus. You guys will see Super Samus. You'll see Smiling Jack Samuses. Special Forces Samus, all types of rocket bikes, and like the Warbird, and all those rocket bikes, just decimating these poor guys without any quarter. Tons of CS troops on the ground. The fast infantry, you'll see at least 5 or 6 Mark V carriers filled with troops. Cyborgs, CS juicers. You will see UAR-1 enforcer robots. You'll see abolishers, skull crushers, spider skull walkers. I mean, it looks like the CS just said, here's a giant fly swatter. That's going away.
Live action. Pretty glad we weren't there.
Right.
And of course, it's all presented as a coalition propaganda piece that is 100%, coalition supportive, that the monsters, the evil monsters and the evil masters and the magic users, and it's going to show magic users that just get wasted. Some of them you guys might actually even recognize. One of the footage that you guys will absolutely know without question is that you guys will see a video of while this officer out in the field. They cut to a field location, and there's going to be an officer who's talking about that we do have captives for the Revenge of the Fallen. We will be interrogating, and I mean, he's doing a much better job than what I'm talking about right now, of course, but he's being very, diplomatic about it. But in the background, it's not, you immediately notice every one of you is going to recognize Commander Tara. You guys remember who Commander Tara was? Anyone?
Wasn't that the individual that was supposed to be leading this expedition? Or was she the one that told us we can go down there and possibly make a little bit of money on the side?
Commander Tara was your guys's commander. Remember, she was actually the Altaran woman, the blind warrior woman who was in charge of your guys' unit that you guys reported to.
Oh, goody. She is now a guest of the coalition, right?
Well, you recognize her that she's in shackles. She's blindfolded. Obviously, she's got mechanical gags and mechanical restraints. And in the background, you will see her forced to her knees. She has 4 coalition cyborgs surrounding her. One of them looks like that he's taken some damage from various incoming fire and stuff like that. His left arm is sparking and looks kind of beaten up and looks like he's taken some structural damage. There's going to be a special forces officer in his spiked armor in front of Tara, and he's pointing down at her head while she's, kind of looking at the ground. And one of the Borgs extends this wicked-looking serrated vibroblade from his forearm and saws her head off. And her body falls limp to the floor. Her head rolls around off to the left. And then the camera will come back to the commander, and he's got his helmet off. He's obviously a human CS officer, and he just looks into the camera and just intently he just makes a statement of, this is what happens when you're an enemy of the goodwill of the coalition states. No quarter, no surrender for you magic users. And then they'll cut off and go back into the propaganda piece.
Why did I think that I'm glad we're out of there.
Yeah. Well,
Dion is just sitting there with his mouth open like he just witnessed the execution of an infant in front of his face. He's just all like, he's taken back by it.
She reaches up, basically, puts her hand on his shoulder and says, they are brutal. We know this. We have to expect it. It's not fun, but we have to.
Yeah, he surprisingly doesn't have anything to say this time. He's just like, okay. So he finished eating in kind of a little bit of somber silence after that. The rest of the TV channel and the news might cover some of this stuff, but doesn't replay that too much unless you request it. It's interactive, so you could always, little text messages comes up on there. Would you like to know more? All right. Bad movie reference, I know, but it works. So.
Yeah, she just looks at the evidence and says, well, we know what we're in for. I say we keep on working what we're working on, and I'm just glad we weren't there when they came in.
Yeah, that could have been that could have been bad.
That could be us.
That's who you. And now, in playing Dion, Dion looks up at Ratchet and goes, "That's your girlfriend."
Remind me, Dion. No, where? Do you think Farrah's a little different, though?
He'll nod his head. He'll just nod his head up and down, and you know he'll mumble to himself, and you'll hear him mumble it. He'll just go, I hope you're right.
Yeah, I'm right too.
So you have a couple of people that knock on your door, that drop off some work for you if you are accepting work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you busy for the day?
Easy repair jobs. They don't take very long. One is like a couple of hundred credits to fix. The other one is maybe about 300 credits to fix. I'm just giving you a rough estimate. You can charge whatever you want. After that, I'm just telling you the rough estimation so you know what to charge, what you want to charge these people. So they're pretty easy orders to fulfill.
I won't charge too much. Maybe 50, 100.
Okay, you can just mark it down above whatever I told you. Just take it and just mark it on your character sheet as that money. When one of them takes you about an hour or so for one of them, and the gentleman will come back to pick up his I don't know. We'll say it's a communicator that having some issues that you fixed. When he comes in and he pays. He says, are you planning to stay here, or is there something I should know? I'm only saying because you've got a rather large military vehicle like a block away from your business.
No shit.
So I just want to. It's none of my business. I just want to know if I can continue taking stuff here, or are you being removed, or did something happen?
No, please keep coming back. I don't know anything about it.
Okay, good. It's load off my mind then. Okay, I just thought I'd let you know. So then he'll end up leaving.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Well, being surveillanced. Oh.
Are you telling that to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell Dion. I mean, if Sasha's there, I'll let her know too.
I assume that Sasha is there. She hasn't said that she was going anywhere, so I'm gonna go underneath the assumption that she is there.
Yeah, I mean Harley is with us. So yeah, I mean if they're both there, I'm gonna let them know that this guy just said that there's a military down the street, and I think there might be surveillancing us.
Well, let me go out back and make it look like I'm working on the bus, and let me see if I can see anything. I see really far, and I notice things without people knowing because of, these things in my head. I got these round things in my head that let me do that.
I know, it makes you look cool.
You think I look cool?
Yeah, sure.
Badass.
I know, man.
So he'll pick up a tool bag and And he's like, well, I'm going to go work on your bus now, boss. You want to stay in, and then he points at his ear, and then he points at you. You're going to be on comm, right?
Yeah, I put it in my ear.
Mm-hmm. He'll point at Harley. Harley, you going to be on comm?
I'll be eavesdropping every once in a while. I can guarantee you that. I don't think there's anything to worry about, but it never hurts to not be careful.
There's famous last words. When it involves
Yeah, right.
the coalition states and surveillance, nothing good's going to come out of this. I guarantee it.
So, George, what's this creature here today? Oh, it used to be Ratchet Ridges. Yeah.
Don't laugh, it's happened in the burbs. There have been burbs that have been
Up
totally
there.
bombarded.
Sure.
Just saying.
Yeah, but I know something you don't know, my friend. The lady in question, she has a thing for our colleague here. A very interesting way of looking at it. She actually thinks you're a little more than just an afternoon snack and a sex toy. I found this out directly.
Oh, right when you said that, he stepped away. That's funny. He stepped away right when you said that. Okay. Well, Dion being Dion and Dion's intelligence, he's gonna look puzzled at Harley, and he's gonna say, she has a thing for me? What?
She reached out and pets Dion, says, no, darling, a thing for him, our colleague. And it's more than a thing. With her, it's always business. Use them, enjoy them, push them to one side and keep going. She's reluctant to push this one away. She has confided in me that she's thinking he's a little more than just an afternoon, psychic snack and a plaything. And she's becoming fond of him. That's why I'm honestly not that concerned with the CS van parked down the way. If nothing else, because of the fact that since they were watching us, that's why I'm still alive. So I have less reason to be untrusting of them.
Oh.
I'm not saying I'm going to not trust them entirely. I'm going to keep a little bit of them, untrustworthy, hidden in the back corner of my mind, just because I don't want to give them a full-length rope to hang me with. But I'm willing to take a chance now. Is the best way to put it.
He'll spin around. He's kind of happy, and he points at Ratchet, and he's like, Ratchet got a girlfriend. Ratchet got a girlfriend. Ratchet got a girlfriend, and then high fives you. Unfortunately, it hurts a little bit. Sorry.
After the high five, she starts sweeping the floor, and she's just humming that little tune.
And he's like, well, I'm gonna go outside. So Dion's gonna go outside. He's not gone for long before he comes out on the comm, and he says that the vehicle that's parked down the street, it's the Mark V armored carrier for the Retribution squad that comes over all the time. They're all outside, and I think they're talking to passerbys for some reason.
Is it the guys that did their weapons?
Yeah.
We've got to get that energy clip thing fixed and ready to roll. We're losing money.
They're asking questions, though. Why are they asking questions?
You want me to go ask him?
Sure. They know who you are. Just say you're going for a taco run.
Okay, I need money.
I'll give you mine. Good.
Hey, he'll come back in. Give me money. Is this going to be enough for a bag of tacos for tonight?
It's like $100 credits in there. Yes.
Okay. So he'll go out the front door and head off to the left. Is anyone going to watch this, or do I have to? I mean, just explain it on the radio. I don't know if anyone's going to go outside and watch, or if you want to be sneaky about it, or what.
Should we sneak up and work our way out in that direction?
Say again, Monte. You were talking
Sorry.
while Nick was talking too. So I heard
Go
Nick.
ahead, Monte.
Now she intends to basically sweep in that direction and eventually get outside and watch and see what happens while she's cleaning.
Okay, well, if you go outside, then, like a block down the street, you will see a Coalition Mark V troop transport. It's all painted, black, just like all the others. It does have CS logos on there. It does have on the front and back and stuff. It does have. Oh, actually, you can't read, so I can't tell you. It has letters on it. So you think it begins with an R, but you're still coming along. So
Wow.
and you will see easily. On average, about 8 heavily armored and armed coalition guys, including the cyborg that you guys have met before, if you remember. Now we're at the street. I think, Harley, you were there for that whole interaction, were you not?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Because I had his weapon and she was just like having an orgasm over it. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, Monte, you remember that? I just want to make sure before I give him information.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, super good.
He's chatting. All
Oh,
right.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just let me
Yeah, so the Borg and guys they're outside. They seem Harley, you will see them talking to Dion. Dion, I'll now do it as a broadcast. When Dion walks up, he's basically going to have his comm on, like all the time, broadcasting. And you can just hear him, "Hey guys, I'm going for a taco run." Yeah, that's about it. Just a taco run. How are you? How are you guys? Well, I'm going on my taco run. Just going to go get tacos. And one guy's like, "Yeah, I heard you. Tacos. Great."
She's pretty to herself thinking, "Oh, he's so subtle. It's an antidote of the forehead."
Like they're obvious over here.
So they shake hands and stuff, and then they're like, and the one of the guys does ask about. He was like, "Hey, did you guys get that recharger going up?" And Dion, oh gosh, now I got to make a roll because he's like really stupid. I got to see how much information he would actually give out, or if he's going to try and be subtle about it. We all know he's good at subtle, real good at subtle. So I'm gonna roll a percent, and I want kind of amazingly low. Oh God, his IQ and mental endurance and mental affinity all suck. Jesus Christ. Oh, for F's sakes, 76. Dion said, yeah, Dion says, well, not yet, but we're gonna, because we just got this bike from this place. We went out and we beat up a bunch of broodkill and we shot up all these bad guys, so you guys don't have to worry about it. It was awesome. It was a great fight. And, and you can just hear the guys going, where were the broodkill at? Oh, you just right outside here. We got out, we shot them up, and you don't have to worry about them. They're decimated. We just stomped their dicks into the dirt and everything. And the guy keeps on asking questions about, what the fuck? Where'd the broodkill come from? But Dion just keeps on going. And finally the guy just goes, fuck it. So he says, well, we ransacked their bikes and we got their stuff, and one of them had a nuclear engine, so we started taking the nuclear engine out and everything. And the guy was all like, well, wait a minute. Excuse me. He said, the guy's all like, whoa, slide, just calm down to impulse speed, please, maneuvering thruster, something, shut up for a second. He's like, well, look, and he'll stop talking, and he's all like, okay, broodkill, got it, I don't need to know anything more than that. Nuclear power plant, you guys have that in your... And you guys are going to use it for what again? Oh, we're going to use it for... Can I talk? And the guy's like, yes, you can talk now. So he's like, okay, so we're going to use it for the nuclear power plant to do all the kind of... he just verbal diarrhea. Even you on your comm, you're just all like, shut up, dude. Just shut up, man.
Yeah. Please, Dion.
Yeah. So he's just like, hey, we're doing all this stuff. We're Ratchet. He's looking into it. He's getting a power clip charger. He's gonna set up for he was talking all this technical babble gobbledygook about the energies that he was gonna make with this. And the guy's like, wait, what? Make energy? And he was like, well, to recharge, nuclear particulator and cellophane wrapper dismayers. And you can just hear the guy just exhale, go like,
We're fucked.
And he's all like, okay. He's like, Dion, we got it. It's cool. And he was all like, yeah, not that much longer. I need to go get tacos. Did I say I was going out to go get tacos? You said you were going out to go get tacos. Okay, I want to go get tacos. So, I just was going to go tacos. I saw you guys here. I just want to. So, what's up? Why are you guys hanging out here? What's up with this?
Wow.
And the guy's all like, and he's just all like, well, if you need to know, we're just out here on patrol. We're just, the burbs have to be patrolled. We got to make sure that the bad guys, they don't come around here at all. So we're here to police because we don't have anyone to go shoot right now. And Dion's all like, police? Oh, cool. Well, I'll let you guys to it. I need to go get tacos. And the guy's like, please, God, go get fucking tacos. So,
you say taco one more time.
Yes. If I hear the word taco, I'm going to shoot him 4 times. I just swear to God, I'm going to start shooting. So it sounds like he's walking off, and then he'll jump on the comm, and he's all like, hey, did you hear all that? They're here to police.
Yeah, we heard that. We heard all of that. Good job, Dion. Good job.
Good work. Turn your comm off, get taco.
Yeah.
All right, Dion signing off. Taco gathering.
Taco man.
Oh goodness, tacos. Cool. Well, he runs off. Harley, do you go anywhere? Or are you gonna keep sweeping outside?
She's gonna stand. She's gonna finish sweeping, stay around the store, and just wait a few minutes until her head stops hurting from all the. Okay, next time I go with him to prevent the outpouring of. They probably almost shot him when he wouldn't.
Okay. Well, since you're outside, there are, you guys have a traffic. Again, you're in a portion of the CS Burbs where this is basically a very technological city all unto its own. They call it a shanty town, but it's really anything but shanty. It's an old town. An old town is basically a city, its own power supply, skyscrapers, production facilities, all kinds of stuff. I mean, the old towns are just that. They're old, but they're 10 times more technology advanced than say any of the new towns. Even in the shanty towns are just basically tents, for lack of a better word. New towns are gonna be like the equivalent of huts and some concrete buildings and not too much mega damage structures. But old towns, that's where the money and the high rises and everything that surround the proper surround Chi-Town proper. Just to give you guys some more background of where you live. You guys live in probably one of the most, if there was going to be considered a safe area within the Chi-Town Burbs, the old towns are absolutely it. So there is traffic. There's wheeled vehicles and hover vehicles which go up and down the road. It's not a big deal to see vehicles, trucks, stuff like that going up and down the road. Harley, what you will notice is the equivalent of a wheeled SUV drives past Ratchet's wrenches, and you being the warrior type of stuff, you're pretty perceptive at all times, and you just happen to look over to that vehicle, and the inhabitants they look human and stuff, and while they're driving by, it looks like that the driver and the passenger are kind of looking at you kind of more than just like passerbys. Your man-at-arms intuition kind of goes like, that they're, the looks linger a little bit. You know what I mean?
Their gaze fell on her and stayed a little bit longer than Joe Average would when they just, oh, look at that.
Right. So they continue going down the road, and you notice that they're just about to pass the Mark V vehicle, and then the cyborg steps out into the road with a he's carrying as his own personal gun a C-40R power armor railgun. Yes, the ones that they put on a Samus. He's using that as his own personal infantry rifle. He's big. You can't, I don't think you have anything that lets you hear that far. Do you have any augmentations or anything for sight or for hearing?
She has no implants whatsoever. It's just her natural hearing.
Okay. So you will notice that the cyborg steps in the road, and he's not pointing the rifle at them as in to be super, to be directly threatening, but it is pointed at the vehicle of all like, if you don't stop, you're going to eat all of this kind of thing. You see the brake lights come on, the vehicle stops, there will be 4 coalition special forces guys from that unit. 2 of them walk up to the driver's side. The other 2 walk around to the passenger side. You can't see what's going on the passenger side. On the driver's side, you see the 2 guys that come walking up. One guy looks like he's talking to the driver. The other guy, he's cradling a C-27 plasma cannon, but he just has it he's holding it in a non-threatening neutral position, basically barrel down, just kind of being the enforcer. And then you hear some yelling, and the guy on the driver's side reaches up, grabs the top part of the door. Obviously, the window is down, and you're going to see him yank his arm back, and the whole door comes off the vehicle, and the driver like halfway spills out of the vehicle, like he was trying to open up the door, but he came with the door, so he falls out. The guy who's holding the C-27 puts it right at the back of his head, and you can just hear this yelling going on, and there's movement. Probably the same thing is happening on the passenger side, but again, you can't see what's going on. After a few minutes, it definitely looks like the driver is getting arrested. He gets put in handcuffs. There is another police, like the equivalent of a paddy wagon and the equivalent of a flatbed tow truck, shows up. The 2 inhabitants of the SUV get put into the back of the car with handcuffs. That vehicle drives off. The SUV gets loaded onto the flatbed truck, and then it drives off. And then the other guys go back into the Mark V armored personnel carrier, and then that's it. And Dion will make it back with tacos. You see him walking back. None of the guys are outside the Mark V, and he just kind of walks by. You see him stop at the Mark V. He looks like he knocks on the side access door to the Mark V. It looks like he's having a conversation. You see what looks like him handing over a small bag of what looks like a taco bag. He hands it inside.
Is the radio on?
No, he's not broadcasting.
Oh, okay.
Snack run.
So and then his hand comes back from the vehicle, not holding that bag. So then he'll pick up the other 2 bags that he has, kind of does like a "hey, see you guys later" kind of friendly gesture, and then he just kind of walks back to right to you, Harley. And he was all like, "Hey, Mickey, the manager, was over at the Taco Hut. He gave me like a 2-to-1 deal. He said some of these were left over from last night, so I got like 3 bags of tacos. I gave 1 to them, but we've got like 200 tacos."
She's gonna laugh at him, and his head, and say, "Why don't you get inside and start having lunch? I'll tell you what you missed over lunch."
I missed something on lunch? But I brought lunch.
Inside, I'll tell you as we go, by everything that happened, all the gory details of what you missed.
He just looks confused, and he just starts walking off, going like, "How did I miss something when I'm bringing lunch? All right." So he'll just come in, and he'll start setting up tacos.
He actually will have a little bit of fun sitting down, getting some stuff for lunch, and then start to tell him what he missed, how for some reason he didn't hear anything, didn't hear the shots being fired, a couple of rockets going off and so forth, how the vehicle was torn open by a couple of CS soldiers. They reached inside and beat on the individuals in question. There was a couple of large maws with teeth coming out that tried to chew on an arm. That, of course, hey, they walked inside there and just asked.
Shot fired.
The fuck did this story come from? None of that happened. Are we elaborating on purpose?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
She's wanting to see how far she can go before he's like, you're shitting me.
That's gonna be a while.
Okay, we asked. I will make the roll. Ratchet, don't worry about the roll. You're sitting here going like, what? You're just all like, none of that happened. Oh, okay.
I got you.
Oh, look, an 81.
Oh, Jesus.
Dion doesn't catch on, and he's just all like, rockets, big explosions. How the hell did I miss that? They were just right there.
She tells them that. I mean, heck, she saw 10 of them come out, grab one guy's arm, beat against the walls, the ceiling, pull him inside, yelling and screaming, throw him back out the door. He had something small in his arms. It looked like one of the nasties. Like, it was incredible. It didn't last not more than 5 minutes, but they finally subdued him and drove away and took it off. And it's one of those, like, you almost swear like there was nothing.
Oh my goodness! Of all the times I have to roll an odd 2, so he's all like, "Oh, just like in that movie, the Men in Black movie, like that." Is that what happened?
She's like that, tentacles, teeth, and all.
Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. All right. He buys it. Fine. You guys go fucking with my poor Dion. He doesn't deserve this level of...
She's doing it because she loves him.
Yeah, not the way that he wants to be loved. Anyways,
Closer and closer. You don't realize it.
as he's sitting here doing his best impersonation of Goku with tacos. So we're sitting there munching away. The little door buzzer for the business goes off.
All right, I go to the front.
Okay, standing there is a CS officer. He is human. He's in special forces light armor. It's got much smaller spikes than special forces like exo armor or anything. Excuse me. You haven't seen this guy before. He doesn't look familiar. But again, I'm just saying he's in the special force. You just know that he's special forces because the special forces wears a whole different spiky type armor. He's got his helmet off. It's off to the side. It only looks like he's got 2 pistols on him. And I don't know if it's surprising to you or how you want to take it, but it's only him. There's no troopers, cyborgs, vehicles, robots, nothing with him. It's just him by himself.
Okay, well, as far as I know, he could be just there to get something fixed. So I think that's what I'm gonna
But I'm just saying, typically when it's a coalition force, there's backup.
There's no entourage or anything like that. It's just him.
Correct.
Okay. Good day, sir. How can I help you?
Hold on just a second. Sorry, I need to look up a name.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you and he looks around and he says, "You're right. It is a very good afternoon. Do I have the luxury of speaking to Mr. Ratchet, who owns this establishment?"
You do. How can I help you?
My name is Commander Rodriguez. I am the Special Forces Unit Commander for CS Squad. Damn, lost the name. Give me a second. Sorry. Oh, for the CS Search and Destroy Squad Recrimination. I believe you know some of my infantry that have come over recently for weapon repair and such.
Yeah, I know a few of those guys. Good weapons. I love working on them.
I certainly hope so. I'm the one who requisitions these and allows them to carry such ordnance. It is part of our usual loadout for our types of jobs is, of course, seek and destroy.
Right.
Do you mind if I come inside? It is just me, sir.
Yeah, come on in.
Okay. So he'll come in. You can tell that this guy is very attentive. He is he just looks around and he just has that air of authority about him that you just know that this is the guy that's in charge, that he pays attention to everything around him. He just seems like he's the kind of guy that it would be really hard to get the drop on this guy. He just exudes that through his military command kind of structure type thing. Let me check some skills here. Harley, you have military etiquette. You can roll it if you would like. Actually, I would like for you to roll it. Lou is not here.
Okay, let's see. There it is. And she rolls 13.
Okay. No one else has military etiquette as a skill.
You're fine, bud.
So, Harley, you immediately, without even knowing this guy, his stature and his presence automatically speaks to you as being trained in military etiquette that this guy is a commander. He's the man. The way he's carrying himself, you have no doubt that this guy is an officer, and the way that he is carrying himself and his behavior and everything, that if you were part of his unit, you would feel obliged that you would have to salute this guy. He's
in charge, he holds a bit of weight, and he's worthy of respect, apparently. You can understand.
Yeah. So Ratchet, he walks in, he goes over to your desk, and he sets the helmet down, and he looks over, and he has no problem he looks right at Dion, and he points it at Dion, and he goes, "Good day to you, sir. It's good to see you." And he points at his head, as in, obviously he's talking about the mom implants, and he's all like, "It's good to see that some of our outside non-citizens are taking their duties seriously around here. I hope those augmentations serve you well, sir." And Dion's just all like, he has that look on his face that he didn't understand like half those words. So he just nods his head. Okay. And then he'll look over at Harley, and he nods his head at Harley, and he'll say, "Good afternoon to you, non-citizen. It's good to see a female in your stature that is willing to be in service in this area. I salute you. Good fight. And then he'll turn to Ratchet, and he'll just say, you surround yourself with skillful artisans of your business. You're doing good for yourself.
Thank you.
I've heard that you have recently salvaged a high energy generator and that you will be able to do high energy weapon grade recharging in the
Soon,
future.
Yes. I have acquired an energy source. I'm just looking to get converters for high energy and different propositions of clips.
Excellent. Well, when that happens, I can absolutely tell you that squad recrimination will be a regular, considering that you're considering your Burbs status, and there will be other military and paramilitary units that will be visiting you, sir. I just wanted to make sure that he's just kind of looking around. I just want to make sure that your facility is going to be able to handle the throughput to where we do not overload you. Your building is not quite as secure as I would wish. So any sort of business at this time is going to have to be a quick turnaround recharge. So keep that in mind when we're coming over. I only say that because your building is not set up for a large, heavy weapons assault structurally. So leaving coalition military hardware in your possession for more than overnight or so forth is just not within our charter.
Right.
We do have standards that we have to maintain within the military. You are not a citizen, so therefore we cannot leave that level of technology by itself with you. It is not an insult. Please understand, it is not an insult to you or to your business whatsoever, but there is a non-citizenship charter that we have to abide to. If you are a citizen within Chi-Town, this discussion would be completely different. But I'm sure that we can make mutual benefits with each other. I look forward to dropping off more hardware to you. The other questions that I need to demand extraction from you is exactly your tooling specifications and engineering qualification and quality designs, so I can better gauge what I can forward to your shop.
All right, then.
If you would please show me around your facility, show me your equipment, and inform me about your manufacturing skills.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a tour.
Okay. So you basically can just take him a walk on that you can do all the repairs. You obviously do not have any manufacturing capabilities. You can't build PCB boards. You can't really manufacture anything. You know, that takes industrial equipment that you frankly just don't have the throughput for. I mean, let's be frank about it. I mean, you'd have to have you need concrete and metal, the equivalent of like 3D printers, fancy 3D printers that in the future at this time, that's basically how they're going to do manufacturing. It's all going to be in one system, you know, kind of like the reverse of a lathe. There might be, and then there's going to be mega damaged lathes out there, but those usually run off of power grids that you're just like, eh.
Right.
If you did have manufacturing and fabrication capabilities, that's awesome. But you know, he's really professional. He doesn't do anything to put you down. He's just, you know, putting stuff in a tablet and just saying, so you can repair these. You're rated to repair these. And he asks you, electronics questions about lasers and pulses, and about fixing computers, hardware fixes. Can you do programming? Things like that. Which you do have some programming skills, but you're not like, you're not at the point where you make your own programs and can do the equivalent level of like hacking and the net set kind of stuff. But you know your way around a computer, that you can do hardware modifications and stuff like that. Understood?
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if he needs a list of skills that I have been trained in, university wise or whatever, I can give him a list. Any questions he has over machinery, weapons, armors, tech in general, I can give him any kind of backfeed that he needs.
Right. So you basically, and then you talk to him about the question comes up about salvaging. If he said he infers to, in a kind of a side conversation about, when we do raids, there's a lot of times we come up with technology from other factions that are not CS appointed, but they're not worthy of storage. So some of them can, we're always looking for people who can side contract to do salvage and tear down for basic parts and such. And some of that actually is part of the payment method in which we allowed, instead of doing credits and maybe inventory swap and stuff.
Trade.
Right. So that way, you can build up your inventory. You can use that inventory as modifications to work on upgrades and repairs and stuff of official CS equipment outside of Chi-Town manufacturers. Chi-Town manufacturers like to stick to their parts. They always want to make parts right there on the spot, but it takes time. But shops like this, if my unit has a vehicle mounted plasma cannon that is on the fritz, there's nothing against my open charter that I can't allow someone to do aftermarket repairs to get that weapon up and running for mission parameter criticality. Boy, I butchered that word. For critical support. So yeah, he's talking about salvage, jury rigging. You're on there, and then finally he's like, and I'm sure that you are up to date currently with the whole fiasco that happened with Tolkien. That there are certain mystical properties that would have to be reported to my group, and that carries a substantial finder's fee depending on the nature of said item when you turn it in for confiscation. As long as it has not been modified, obviously, by you. Modification of illegal mystical items by you can lead to termination and shortened life expectations of your business.
Of course, definitely understand that.
I have to tell you the law in which even with your status, sir, you need to be informed of this.
Of course. Yes, protocol.
Did he just tell me he was going to erase my ass?
This motherfucker just said he was going to shoot me.
I will shoot you in the face. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I beating around the bush? You'll become a plasma catcher. How's that sound?
Right.
God damn.
I will give you the D. Disintegrate.
That might be a little rough. So.
But yeah, I mean, I totally understand. I let him know. I'm well aware of the protocols. I've been enforced this before. I keep to my business.
And he says, "Okay, good." He's got a big data pad that, of course, he's been taking notes on and punching stuff in, doing all this and stuff. And at the end, he'll show it to you, and you can see that it's a contract of acceptance, that he's read all of this to you, that you understand everything that he's told you, and he's like, by protocol, I need you to sign this. This is accepting that you're accepting this work, that you're not going to, give away our precious secrets. He just he laughs that off, but he's kind of
right.
You're just all like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, shot in the.
You do this, I guess what?
Yeah, you're like, yeah, plasma catcher, got it. So he takes it and he's all like, cool. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Looking forward to doing business with you. I'm sure you're going to grow with your equipment and stuff. I would highly recommend it. You're going to see some work.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I need a bill.
So now that this is signed, as soon as you get that system up and running, and he'll print out a card that comes out from the bottom of his data pad, hands the card over to you, and he says, that is my contact information. When your recharger is up and working, please notify me immediately, and then I can broadcast it that you are now up and running with high energy recharging stations.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
And I appreciate it, and thank you for giving me the time to look at your impressive repair shop. Now I look forward to meeting you and doing business with you in the future.
I appreciate it.
And
Thank you for coming in.
He'll actually unlock the gauntlet on his right hand, and he'll take it off, and he just kind of wipes it down with a side rag for the CS, and he's actually gonna offer to shake your hand.
Shake it.
Okay. He has no problem, and he says, well, thank you, sir. And while he puts his gauntlet back on, and he turns around, and then you see him go like, he goes like, oh, I forgot something. I'm sorry. Completely slipped my mind. You will be receiving, and of course you guys exchanged where he can send this contract to you electronically. I just assume you have the equivalent of like an email status type thing, right?
Yeah, not like a website or something.
Yeah, no, but you have, yeah, it's the equivalent of email.
At least he has a print.
Yeah. So he says, in that copy that I sent you, please, we didn't go over it too much, but please look over section 14. Unauthorized use of magic items in storage. That would greatly benefit you to make sure that you don't have any violations. So, and then he'll leave. And Dion's like, did he just tell you to go fuck yourself? I heard fuck you. I swear I heard professionally fuck you.
There was a big finger on that one. I guess I'm gonna have to read this section 14 real quick.
Oh, it's a great read. It's everything.
Sure.
It's everything that you expect from the Coalition. If thou are caught with magic items, you will be liquefied on the spot. Yeah, that kind of language. They mean that crap. I mean, it's just like,
liquefied, emulsified, emaciated, enunciated, embalmed and battered, and basically turned into 7-day-old dog chow and fed to something they really.
Speaking of
Because-
dogs, there's an actual paragraph in there about routine patrols by dog packs for magic sensing and contraband acquisition. Yeah, pound the forehead, dude. Crap. Yeah. You're like, uh-oh.
Well, shit.
Well, you wanted to work for the... If you want coalition money, you got to play by coalition rules.
Fucking A.
Okay, so, you guys are just kind of talking this stuff after he left, right? So this is like easily towards like 4 o'clock now and stuff. You're just...
Yeah, they are picking on me.
You send her a message?
I'll send her a message. I'm like, hey, baby, where you at? Hey, guess what? We got to talk.
She'll send a message back of, I'm almost done. Be there in about an hour. Isn't Rodriguez a charming bastard?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you do? Okay. Yes, charming fellow. Charming fellow. Kisses and hugs.
X's and O's.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Figured she'd know.
Hey, wow, a blowjob emoji. I didn't even know those existed.
I know, right? Put the drooling face on the end of it.
Yeah. So Dion is going to be like, so
No.
we can do work on their stuff, but you can't do your oogly boogly stuff, right? How are you gonna hide that to where we don't get, turned into brown goo like the paper that you signed said? Because that's what it says. If we even look at it, we get turned into an Oreo cookie.
I was thinking Oreo cookie, but
Okay, the leftovers of a shat out Oreo cookie.
more like chocolate pudding on a fucking sidewalk. I don't know, Dion. We'll have to figure something out. This is not good. Not good at all.
Oh, now it's not good.
Eat your fucking tacos.
He's not like, great, not
I
good.
was not expecting that asshole to come into the shop. Okay? I kind of threw a wrench in all my shit.
Harley just smiles and looks at Ratchet. It's like, and did you notice the really, really adorably cute way that he unlocked that gauntlet and cleaned his hand before he shook yours? Did you notice that?
Harley, really? No. Sorry, I was too busy wondering how fucked I was.
Well, in my mind, someone that does that, I mean, it's one thing to have a gauntlet you pull off like a glove. It's another that they're locked on. That to me, in my paranoid mind, says that maybe he has a certain special ability. That's why he keeps the gloves locked on, so it doesn't go off accidentally.
Well, it came off all right, and there was a middle finger that came up afterwards.
Well, he can't have. Dion says, well, he can't have special abilities because they have to be licensed and marked like Farah. It's a whole big thing. He can't just walk around and use psionics and work for the CS and them not know about it. He has to be. I mean, they control that stuff.
They do? Are you sure?
Yeah.
See, this is the other where the paranoia comes in. I said I'm willing to trust him only so far. But there's a little area that says that's as far as I go.
Well, whether we trust them or not, we just have to deal with it now because we're stuck in it. It might be good money, but we're gonna have to be careful about the stuff that Ratchet may or may not do. So he says that like someone's listening in with a bug, like he's trying to deny it now. So
Thanks.
you're just like a little late.
We're careful is all. That's all. We got to be careful how we do things, how we say things, and even when we're having sex, we have to be careful.
Oh, we're in so much trouble about that.
That was like the worst time to cut out.
She's basically saying we got to be more careful when we do things, be more careful about how we work out, and even be more careful when we have sex. It's like it's just all flat and simple.
I ain't being careful with sex. Fuck that.
Yeah, you did repeatedly, and she enjoyed it.
I know.
She told me.
Shit.
That's what. Oh, that reminds me. I neglected to tell you. He thinks you're a little bit better than the average sex toy. She likes you. A lot. She doesn't see you as being an afternoon business. She sees you as something a little better. I would capitalize on that and show her that you actually care, because she does.
I have been.
You're more. No, I mean, show her you care.
Oh, no, I have. I've taken her out.
This is girl to girl. She asked me my honest opinion of what you thought about her. I told her straight. And I got back that she feels you're something that's special. Don't screw it up. She's
haha, baby Ratchets.
Ah, shit, you Dion. Swear to God.
I can be a god.
I don't know how to change diapers. Babies scare me. They're small, brittle. They cry a lot.
Don't make me embarrass you, sir. Now I gotta do research on all these little energy converters.
Yeah. I am going to roll a perception for Dion, just because out of character, I have no idea if he would have picked up on it, but I'm going to. I haven't heard you two guys talk about it at all, so if you want to, if both of you could also roll a perception, I'd appreciate it. It's just a D20 plus your perception modifier underneath saving throws. Dion's got a +3. And he got a total of a 6. So I can't talk about what I was thinking because he's too much of a lunkhead that he didn't catch it. Damn it. Okay. Rats.
Okay, let's see what she comes up with. I don't think she has any bonuses near as I can tell off her sheet. I'm looking for perception.
No, you don't.
Nope, so it's a straight roll. She gets a 4. She has absolutely no clue what's going on.
Okay.
14 total.
Hey, someone who
I have a
actually...
+3.
Yeah, someone who can actually get above a 10. All right. I don't know if you were going to say... I was just saying, but I haven't heard anyone bring it up, but to Ratchet, there was some words that guy alluded to a couple of times about status.
Non-citizen, citizen?
No, he was talking about business status, if you remember.
Oh.
When we were talking about stuff, and he said, your status now, and then later on he said, now, with your status that you have, we're going to be bringing more stuff to you.
Hmm. No, I won't say anything.
Okay. Just like,
I'll just mull it over. Try to figure out for myself.
right. Okay, that's cool. So Dion's just all like, well, what do we do, Ratchet?
Right now, we need to get this converter going for the Eclipse. Not worrying too much about the Oogly Booglies, okay? Let's not worry about that right now. Let's worry about getting the physical stuff going. Getting this shop up and running.
Okay.
Really don't worry about no Oogly Booglies. We'll do that later.
What about Lou? I mean, he's a walking Oogly Boogly. And
I know you.
we're doing
Well, I mean, we'll let him know.
we're doing jobs
It's not
for
like
him
what-
too.
It's not like we're not going to let him know. We are his friend. We'll let him know. We'll let him know what happened today.
Okay. All right. Well,
That we'll let him decide what he wants to do. He may not show up at the shop anymore. So we'll see.
well, that's a bummer.
Well, we don't need him getting caught, right?
I guess, yeah. Don't want him being caught.
I mean, I don't want to get caught either, but I'm gonna have to play it off. It's just a tech.
All right. So we'll